Hey everybody, how's it going? I'm going to cook some baby back ribs here for you today, and I figured I'd record it, so if you want to follow the recipe, you can follow the recipe. Everybody or anybody who knows me knows I love ribs, right? And typically I'll cook my ribs on a charcoal grill. It takes several hours to get fall off the bone baby back ribs on the charcoal grill. So there's some times where I want those ribs, but I don't have 3-4 hours to prepare and to cook the ribs. So I do have this electric Power Cooker Plus. And it's a pressure cooker, and so I'm going to prepare the ribs in the pressure cooker. So once they go in, from the time they go in the bath till the time they're ready to eat, it's going to be about 45-50 minutes. So we've reduced the cooking time tremendously. So what do you need as far as ingredients? First thing, obviously, you need a pack of your favorite baby back ribs, wherever you get them at the grocery store, Sam's Club, whatever. Salt, black pepper, garlic powder, and onion powder is what I use for seasoning. You can use whatever you want for seasoning, but these are what I use. Now, I actually have a Tupperware container here full of the 4 of these already mixed together. I love these seasonings together. I use them on a lot of protein that I cook and some vegetables and stuff. So I keep a Tupperware container full of the 4 of them mixed together, so I have it at my ready whenever I need it. You're going to need your favorite barbecue sauce. I love Sweet Baby Ray's barbecue sauce. I think it's a great sauce. It's an award-winning sauce, as it says on the label. And why reinvent the wheel, right? If you've got a great sauce that you love, just use that sauce. So we'll put that aside because that's going to be used later on. And you're going to want apple cider vinegar and some apple juice. I just happened to pick up a quart of the Adam and Eve, Apple and Eve apple cider here, but you can use whatever apple cider you want to use. And the last thing you're going to need is a bottle of your favorite wine, whatever wine you like, red wine, white wine. It really doesn't matter what wine you use because it's all about taste, right? So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to prepare the wine. So I've already opened up the bottle of wine, and what we're going to do is pour some in a glass right here. And right about there is probably enough for right now. What we're going to do, what this is going to be used for, is to consume while we are cooking. That's good. That's a good Cabernet. Our ribs. So the first thing we're going to want to do to prepare the ribs, obviously, is to open up the package. So I'm just going to use this knife, the scissors that I've got here for the kitchen. We'll get this opened up. And I'm going to take this paper towel just to kind of handle the ribs. And we're going to just open that up right like that so I can get that sauce right into the garbage. And then I'm just going to put the ribs right in this casserole here, dish right here for now. Then what you're going to want to do, the first thing you're going to want to do is on the back side of the ribs is a membrane along the bones. You're going to want to get that membrane off of the bones, because if you don't get it off the bones, these aren't going to be fall off the bone ribs. So you kind of want to just start in the back edge of the ribs here, get a good piece of the membrane starting to come off. Sometimes they come off very easily, and I'm sure today, because we're doing this demo here, it's not going to come off. But you get a nice pocket there, and actually I'm going to grab another paper towel because it's easier if you use a paper towel. And then once you get a good lip started, as you can see I've got here, if you just grab that with the paper towel and just pull your membrane, well, there you go. We'll pull right off of the ribs. And that's an important part. Some people miss that part and don't get the membrane off of the ribs, and if you don't do that, then your ribs aren't going to fall off. There you go. Fall off the bone ribs. So I just make sure I get the whole membrane off the back of the ribs, and we'll get rid of that. There you go. So now I've got the membrane off the back of the ribs, so these will be nice fall off the bone ribs when they're done. The next thing I'm going to do is to take my seasoning mix, and I'm going to just liberally. I just, I just throw it on there. Doesn't really matter how much you do. I mean, you don't want to over season it, right? But you want to get that seasoning on there to make sure it gets into the to the meat there. So we'll just get that on there. Okay, so I've got the seasoning in there. I'm just going to pack that in there, and we're going to let that sit aside for a little bit while we continue to prepare. And I'm actually going to go rinse my hands off. Okay, so now what we want to do is we want to get the pressure cooker going. Okay, so I'm going to take this pressure cooker and I'm going to plug it in. Get that in there. That in there. Okay, now it's plugged in. I'm going to turn the top to get it off. Now, the first thing we're going to want to do is for these ribs, we're going to use about 4 to 5 cups of the apple juice. Okay, so I'm going to just take this. Now, you can use a measuring cup if you want. Inside the pressure cooker here, there's some lines to indicate the number of cups. So I'm just going to stop right there. That's at 5 cups. Probably 4 cups is enough. I usually use 5 cups just to make it a little, to give it a little bit more. Because what we're going to use is that juice to cook and steam the ribs. And then we're going to take the apple cider vinegar and, this, I don't know exactly, the measurement, but you go 1, 2, 3, boom. Okay, so I've got enough apple cider vinegar in there. Okay, so now what we're going to want to do is we're going to take the pressure cooker and we're going to, here we go, canning soup, chicken and meat. So we're just going to turn it, I'm going to hit the chicken and meat button. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to get the pressure cooker turned on. And what I want to do is I want to heat up that apple juice and that apple cider vinegar that's in the pressure cooker and get it warm. So once that gets warm, we'll come back and we'll take a look at what the next steps are. Okay, so it's been several minutes now. The pressure cooker, the juice is heating up inside. I'm actually going to just grab the camera, and I don't know if you can see, but you might be able to see the steam rising from there. You can see the liquid bubbling in there. Nice. So it's the apple cider vinegar and the apple juice are preparing nicely inside the pressure cooker. So what we're going to do now is we're going to get the ribs inside the bath so it can start cooking. So I'm going to take the ribs out of the Pyrex dish here, and I'm going to cut it. I'll actually flip it over so I can see the bones, so I can get a nice cut in between the bones. So I'm just going to cut them in half. All right, so it'll go inside the pressure cooker more easily. And what I'm going to do here, I'm going to grab the camera again so you can see exactly what I'm doing. But I'm going to take those ribs and I'm going to place them right inside the bath. And I'm going to put the thick meat side down. You see how those are sitting in the bath? Whoops, sorry, with the camera. There you go. You can see how those are sitting in the bath. So it's nice and it covered up. So I'm going to grab this other one and I'm going to throw it in there as well. Ooh, gotta be careful, that water's hot. So you can see both of those racks that I put in there that I cut in half, the whole rack that I cut in half, are now put inside the pressure cooker. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this lid and I'm going to turn it to make sure that it's on tight. And on the back side of the pressure cooker, this is always important. Those of you that use pressure cookers know this, but you want to make sure that it's closed, right? So this here, this piece right here, this indicator right here shows that it's closed. If you turn it to there, that's when you want to release the steam. But we want this here right now. Okay, so now they are inside the pressure cooker, and so now what we're going to do is I'm going to hit cancel, and then I'm going to hit cooked meat, chicken meat again, and I'm going to go time adjust, and I'm going to turn this time up to 32 minutes. And I'm going to put it on medium. Actually, we're going to, we got to bring this timer down again. So let me, hold on, let me hit cancel. Cook time. Chicken meat, and we're gonna go. Okay, so we're gonna get this back up to about actually 33 minutes, and we're gonna let it sit right there. And boom. Okay, so now you can see it's set for 33 minutes. So what's going to happen is the pressure inside the cooker is going to build. Once that pressure builds, then the timer will start at the appropriate time. So we'll come back once that pressure is getting ready to build, and we'll show you what that step looks like. Okay, so now it's been a few minutes, and you can hear, and I don't think you can see it through the video, but right through here there's a little hole where the pressure builds in there, and once there's a little knob in there and a rubber seal. Once the pressure builds, you're going to hear that sizzling. There you go. It stops. So now the pressure is almost done building. So this is just going to take a couple more minutes, another minute or so. We'll keep it. Actually, what we'll do while we're waiting for that is take another sip of our wine. That's good. Actually, we're running low on that, so we always got to make sure our wine is at a good level while we're cooking. Because at the end of the day, the more wine you drink while you're cooking, the better the food tastes after you cook it. So we'll get that there. So the pressure is almost done building in this pressure cooker. Okay, so the pressure cooker just finally finished pressurizing. So now you can see it's set for 33 minutes. So now we're just going to let this sit inside the pressure cooker for the next 33 minutes. We'll clean up the mess here, and we'll come back when they're just about ready to come out so you can take a look at them. And then we'll get the barbecue sauce, and we'll talk about what the next steps are. Okay, so the pressure cooker has finished cooking the ribs. It's been about 33 minutes. So what we're going to do here is we'll show you first thing we want to do is release the pressure, right? Because if you try to open this thing up pressurized, you're going to get a rocket ship. So what we're going to do is we're going to turn that valve. Remember that. We're going to step back just a little bit. There you go. And you can see that steam coming off of the top of that pressure cooker. So we're going to let that, let's move it out a little bit so it doesn't hit the cabinet. And we're going to let that depressurize before we open it up. We'll give that just a minute to depressurize. And while we're doing that, now might be a good time to replenish that wine there. There we go. And we'll just sit here and have another sip of wine. Cheers. And once that steam stops pouring out like that, then we know it's safe to open the pressure cooker. I'm going to move these tools over here just for a moment. We'll put this side here. We cleaned out the Pyrex dish and put some tin foil in there, because what we're going to do next is we're going to take the ribs out of the pressure cooker. We're going to put them in the Pyrex dish. We're going to rub some barbecue sauce on them, and then we're going to stick them in the oven for a few minutes to kind of let that barbecue sauce caramelize a little bit on the top of the rib. Okay, so the pressure cooker's done depressurizing, whatever. So I'm going to turn this to open, and I'm going to open that. Oh my goodness, look at those ribs. Oh, look at those ribs. Let me get this camera over in here, because a sight is worth 1,000 words. So you can see those ribs. They've cooked nicely inside that pressure cooker. You can see them pulling away from the bones already. So what we're going to do is we're going to take those ribs out of there and put them inside the Pyrex dish. And then we'll get some barbecue sauce on them from there. Now we want to be careful, because what's going to happen is, because this is already, I can see the bones just peeling away. So we want to be careful. I want to maintain that structural integrity of the ribs. Look at that. Oh, while I'm saucing them. So I'm going to put, Boy, those bones are already just falling off of there. I want to be careful. Get these out of here so they don't fall off the bones. Okay, I'm going to put this aside for now. Just let's toast those ribs. They look good. So now what we're going to do is we're going to rub both sides, get some barbecue sauce on those ribs, right? We love barbecue sauce. I mean, get those on there. We'll get them on the bones. There's a lot of meat on this side, so we'll get that there. Just, I'm not being shy with this barbecue sauce either. I'm just being very generous with it. Okay. And then we're going to get a little bit over there. Okay. And we'll take these ribs and we'll just kind of flip them inside the Pyrex here. Be careful not, whoop, see, a couple bones have already just fallen right off of these. Beautiful, absolutely beautiful. Oh, those look delicious. All right, and they smell amazing. The fragrance is just absolutely amazing. We'll get more barbecue sauce on here. And believe it or not, I've run out of barbecue sauce in my dish here, so I'm just going to get some more, put a little bit more in there, and we'll just smother that on there. Look at that. All right, so now what we're going to do is we're going to take these ribs, we're going to get the barbecue sauce all over them, and we're going to stick them in a 400-degree oven for about 10 minutes. And we're just basically want to caramelize, finish off this sauce. So we'll get those in the oven, and then we'll come back afterwards to see what the finished product looks like. Let's just take a quick photo of these so you can see what they look like before they go in the oven. So there you go. Now we'll go stick them in the oven. Okay, so the ribs are done cooking. You can see that nice caramelizing of the barbecue sauce on there. Oh, I wish I could send aromas across the videos because this smells absolutely amazing. So what we're going to do now is we're going to take some of these ribs. We're going to put them on this plate. I've got some corn on the cob and obviously some coleslaw, which is always required. Look at those ribs. They're just ready to fall apart. You always need coleslaw when you're eating barbecue ribs. And let's give these ribs a try. Okay, so we've got everything prepared. I've got Simon and Garfunkel playing in the background. Oh, let's give these ribs a try. Let's see how this bone comes. Oh, look at that! Look at that bone. Just those bones just peeling off of there. That is. There's how you make fall off the bone baby back ribs in a pressure cooker. Thanks a lot, and maybe we'll make another recipe someday. Take care. Okay, so we've got everything prepared. I've got Simon and Garfunkel playing in the background. Oh, let's give these